Good morning, it's Karen. Happy New Year. It's 2025, which means all new, all rearranged, all fluffed up and made new TBR jars. For those of you who are new and might be watching for the first time, I have 3 levels of TBR jars. The first level is my dragon jar, and these are the books that I most want to read. This way I can guarantee that I'm going to be reading at least 1 or 2 books a month that are in my priorities. My next jar is called Prince Charming, and these are the books that I'm really excited for that I do want to read for 2025. However, they are not at the topmost of my priorities so far. However, I have found most of my 5 stars tend to come from this jar. And the last jar is my most wild jar. These are books that I put in here and have completely forgotten about, or I briefly read the synopsis and said, yeah, sure, I'm interested. I have also put some grenades in here, big books or challenging books that I might not necessarily want to be reading at this moment. Let's start with the dragon jar. I have filled this with the books that I am most excited to read. I have my top 10 reads in here. I have some garden-y types of reads. I have some other challenges that I've set for myself this year. So stay tuned for some of those videos coming up really soon. First one we are starting with is a fantasy. And it is, okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's start it off big. I only just finished reading the second book. This is The Empire of the Wolf. This is Trials of the Empire. It is the 3rd and final book of this series. This is by Richard Swan. I have adored this series. The first book, Justice of Kings, is one of my most highly recommended books that I give to fantasy readers because it moves at a clip. The second book took me a long time to read, and that had more to do with my lifestyle. So I'm hoping this one goes a little bit faster because I need to take this one out of the library. And we'll do 2 out of my dragon jar. Another fantasy. We're starting out strong. Okay, here we go. This is Titus Groans. Nope, Titus Groan. Speaking of books that I most want to read in 2025, this is the Gormenghast trilogy, the first one being Titus Groan. Let me just read this to you. Gormenghast is the vast, crumbling castle to which the 77th Earl, Titus Groan, is lord and heir. Tituses expect to rule this Gothic labyrinth of turrets and dungeons and his eccentric and wayward subjects, according to the strict age-old rituals. But things are changing in the castle. Titus must contend with treachery, manipulation, and murder, as well as his own longing for a life beyond the castle walls. I have read a little bit up on this. It could be argued that it is not a fantasy, but I want to read and find out why that is. This is a book where the castle itself becomes a character, and I was recommended this years ago, and I am super thankful to be diving into it now. Prince Charming. We'll do 2 out of this one. Okay. You'll see why I'm laughing. Okay, Lion in the Valley. This is going to seem really familiar to you if you watched my December TBR. No, it was my November TBR. I pulled Lion in the Valley. I did not read it. I have it beside my bed. It is ready to go. This is a mystery where the main character, Amelia Peabody, is an Egyptologist. She is very indomitable and she is funny as all get out. She's very literal, but also incredibly intelligent. And I love this series for the mystery, for the setting, so set in turn of the century of the 20th century, Egypt, as well as the humor. There is a lot of physical comedy in these series, so this would be a good light one to go over my 2 fantasies. Pardon the sounds upstairs, my husband. That's 2. Try it again. There we go. Yellow. Yellow is nonfiction. Okay. The Wandering Mind. So one of my goals for this year, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in it in my videos coming up, is to read books that either have a monk or nun religious kind of aspect to it, a monastery, or this one, for example, has to do with the ways that monks thought. And this is delving into how a medieval mindset would translate into our modern world. That was enough of a sell for me. So this is kind of a cool one to put on for the start of the year. And the last one, this jar became incredibly, this is like this full. You can't quite see. I have put a couple of books in here that I put on my library list, and I don't actually know. So we'll find out together what some of these are about. This is pink, so this is like contemporary. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay. This is the Overstory. What is this one about? I don't even know what this one is about. This is big. This was in the top 100 books of the 21st century so far. I think this is a multiple timeline kind of a story. I mean, the cover kind of suggests it. I'm kind of hoping for a bit of a nature-y theme, and I think it's more literary leaning, and this is a really big one. So I think I might just call that my TBR because it's big. Let's stop there for now. While we're ahead, there is something else that I'm working on, so just a sec. My aunt is a writer, mostly of microfiction, but also of short stories. And one of the people that she always recommends for short stories is Chekhov. And I have never read any of his stuff. And then I found this book, 52 short stories. It doesn't seem like 52 short stories, but here we go. I would love to read this, chip away at it, sit down, read one story, put it away, and have this for the entire year. And this is going to be one of my broad goals for the year. So I want to at least read 3 or 4 short stories this month. There you have it. That is the start of my 2025 in reading. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Karen. I'm the Book Libraut. I explore all types of books. We'll see you again soon. Five-star predictions. I would love Titus Grown to be a 5-star. The Wandering Mind is going to be close. It's going to be 4.5. The Overstory is going to blow me away. I'm going to give that one 5 stars. Lion in the Valley, fun, 4 stars. Trials of the Empire, Richard Swan is going to hit this out of the park. It is going to be a 5-star. It is going to be one of my most favorite trilogies ever.